and live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Tongie. We're going to do life together. Hey, it's your girl or your friend, Tongie. Welcome to another edition of Talk to Tongie. And if you cannot tell right about now, I am extremely excited about tonight's program. Why am I so excited? Well, one, you showed up. So thank you so much for allowing me to be in your living room, your kitchen, your boudoir, wherever you watch this show right here on DBS. And then the second reason is I've got a very special guest that's normally behind the camera, but I kind of coerced him to come in front of the camera tonight so that we can discuss some of the amazing souls that have been showcased on this show. I remember when I talked about this show some 5 years ago, and it was literally about helping people get out of their way, but realize that untapped potential that lies dormant within them. It was designed back then, and we still carry that to date, so that others will know it doesn't matter. It does not matter where you come from. It doesn't matter how you start. But what matters is you get up. If you're falling, you get up. If you're still standing, you keep standing. And you move in the direction of living the life that you're supposed to live. Yes, I get it. Times really do test your faith. But it's in the testing that makes us strong, right? Of course it is. So let's bring on this gentleman who is, like I said, behind the camera. He goes out, he sources locations, he finds guests. He's none other than my amazing friend, my director of videography, photography, and anything else that he believes that he can do. He just shows up for the occasion. Thank you so much, Mr. Williams.
Great to be back again.
I know, right? Tonight is going to be really, really exciting because we get to talk about some of the amazing guests that have been on this show.
Yes, great stories.
I know, right?
Great stories,
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so funny. You feel that breeze?
Oh, yeah. It feels good.
It does. It's so funny when I ask you, what's their story? You do not let me down on that. Honestly, you do not. Even if it's someone who's just starting their business or who's been in the business for a while, it's the story that really makes the story, if that makes any sense.
Yep.
How do you, I'm just going to ask you, dude, how do you go by looking for these amazing folk?
Well, I would not tell my actual secret. However, I do belong to a wide network.
Yeah.
With my experience with what I do for many years, I've met a lot of people, you know, through jobs that I've done, if not press conferences, et cetera,
Wow.
and with the program that I went through as well with Fabian Isaac. So, you know.
All right, Fabian, that's the fifth time your name has been called, dude. So
yes, with what he does, he has a wide net of young business owners, young businesses, et cetera, et cetera. And from those lots, you have some great stories. Great stories.
It's so amazing that when the guests, you know, we kind of preview the guests before they actually come on the show. And all of them are open to the questions that, you know, will be asked of them. I haven't met a guest since you've been inception. I haven't met a guest that says, no, you can't ask me that. Because again, when you're talking with people who are doing it in the marketplace, we know the ups and downs of having a business. We know what it feels like when you need to make payroll and you're like, oh dear God, how do I do this? But I appreciate your literally procuring all of those amazing folk from your wide network of people.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. So we're going to talk about Ms. Dr. Natasha. Yeah. Do we need to take a break or are we going to keep rolling?
Well, now that I'm set, we need to break.
All right. Dr. Natasha Saint Amy. I met her almost 2 years ago. And I remember when our Caitlin Carew, she's really good friends with Dr. Natasha, was telling me that you got to meet her. She's amazing. You'll fall in love with this woman, right? And I'm thinking, okay, I was going to go and see a dermatologist for something else. So okay, I'll give her an opportunity. And little did I know that it was going to develop into something that is so wonderful. What was your first inclination when you went to her office and you got to see exactly what she does?
Well, for me, one, being where I'm from, little section of Castries and stuff. When you had dermatology and these things, you just think of, those who have money and kind of thing. Like, do we actually have that hair? So, it was kind of different seeing that, she's from here. And doing that. So, to me, that's a story to tell.
That's a story, right?
She's from Saint Lucia, went to study. She specializes in that. And not only that, she does some other little things as well.
She does.
Hey, she's well around.
And her coming to the show, it was just, for me, it was so magnificent because, again, I'm used to going to a dermatologist, but for most folk that are from here, I would have thought that, okay, you're going to go there, get your education and your training, and then you're just going to stay abroad. But she chose to come back here.
She chose to come back.
Wow. That speaks volumes of not just patriotism, but her love for this country.
Yeah.
Wow.
Indeed.
How about that?
I know, right?
How about that?
Yeah.
And who can forget Riyadh?
No one can. Those chips?
Riyadh, the local chips. I mean, come on. Wasn't he just amazing?
Amazing.
His story really resonates with someone who says, I got to do it.
Yep.
COVID, as crucial and horrible as it was for a lot of people, they made good with that time. I know in the U.S. when they said you can't leave your home, you have to shelter in place, it was mind-boggling because first, that was our first pandemic that literally changed the entire landscape of the U.S. But for here, people were getting into their imaginations and they were literally saying, okay, I'm going to do this. How did you get him? I mean, seriously, I'm sorry. I know
it's a long, short story. A long, short story. I know Riyadh from my teen years.
Oh, come on.
Yes, in terms of religion, we both within the same religion. So I know him from church. He sings as well. So, in an a cappella group like I used to as well.
Come on.
What? Really nice tenor.
Is he really?
Really nice tenor.
Oh my God. His mannerisms, I mean, they're just second to none.
Yes.
Wonderful guy.
So that's how I know him.
That's how you know him?
Yeah. So, and that's the only front I knew him on.
Wow.
And also his wife. I went to school with his wife.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. So you can basically say I grew up around, sort of, despite he's from Dennery and I'm from Castries, but I never stayed in one place anyway.
Did you ever think that he would be doing what he's doing?
No, actually, I knew he was into culinary and stuff, so I thought he was just like a cook or something of that sort. And hearing his story prior to the show, when I reached out and hearing his full story on the show, I was just blown back. I'm like, wow. I didn't know.
You didn't.
Who would know? When you just pass someone at the side of the road or something, you just look at them. Sometimes we tend to judge.
Come on, man.
But we don't know what the actual story is or who they actually are.
Or who they are.
So,
I've got this guest who will come and tell us some secrets about how he got here, what he's doing in the community, what he's doing with his passion, because you do know that it takes passion, right? Lots and lots of passion to wake up every morning and say, today I'm going to start my business, or today I'm going to continue in the stead of my own business. This gentleman that is on the show today is actually the creator of this mixed chips. Banana chips, plantains, he's doing it all. He has salsa. Look at him pushing the salsa. It's salsa that I am looking forward to tasting and literally getting into your household. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm a chef by profession.
Oh, chef by profession. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yes, I'm a chef by profession. So doing it for little activities, so when someone would ask me to do a slightly little catering for them, I would throw this in as an aperitif. So, when your guests, they're waiting something, just keep them occupied.
Right.
And then persons were like, yo, this is good. Maybe you should package and sell. And I'm like, yeah, you're just saying that. You may buy it one time, but then who says there's going to be a continuous flow?
Okay.
So I'm like, it wouldn't make sense. So, I mean, for a while, I was a lot reluctant to actually go into doing it.
And did you ever in those 7 months feel like, you know what, I'm done with this. I'm tired of this. Can't do it. Did you ever feel like that?
Every day.
Wow.
Every day.
Wow. Would you speak on that? Because I thought I was the only one that felt like, I want to give up here.
Yeah, to be honest, when you go through the motion, it's like, there's always a challenge. Something always coming to you to I did something wrong again. So you're like, I just wasted resources. So now, you have to give up.
Yeah.
Every day there was something that would go wrong. There was always something. But then with a lot of motivation and, hard thinking and perseverance, persistence, you're like, okay, we're not giving up. Even when I felt like, that's it. My wife would give me energy and say, hey.
Wow. And it was just refreshing to know he has done all that and he's still young.
And he
has a lot more to do.
Come on.
And from what he's accomplishing right now and what he said he's going to be doing now.
Wow. I am so happy for him. I really am.
I can't wait to see those chips on the shelves with the new packaging.
Come on.
I'm waiting for that one.
You're waiting for that one?
Waiting for that one.
The salsa, you literally can stick your spoon in it and just eat it from the jar. It's just, it's delicious. It really, really is.
Yep.
Wow. Of course, we can't forget our guy, Coyote.
Coyote.
That guy he makes you go, as my children would say, hard in the paint. And because he doesn't give an excuse to the limitations that befell him, right? He just keeps on going. It reminds me of the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah.
Wow. His real 3D printing. I got it. He's working on a project for us too. And I'm excited about what that's going to look like.
Coming soon.
I know, coming soon. You guys check him out because I told him that he was almost a pioneer of sorts because 3D printing is kind of new, in this space.
Yeah, yes.
But he's making it happen.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that.
Basically, I always say I came from a family of ambitious persons, my mom and dad, and, outside of their 9 to 5, they would still find other means of revenue, making money and stuff like that. So, those things I emulated. Wow. So you would consider a hustler to be.
Yeah.
I always found myself doing various buying and selling within my secondary school and primary school days.
Come on.
And even outside of that, and then it continued to progress into Safa, where I started my first business, first registered business.
Wait a minute, hold up, time out. You're not gonna skate over that. How old were you?
I was 17, almost 18 at that time.
For all of those who do not know, you were presented with some challenges, and one of the challenges was with your eyesight. Mm-hmm. Would you care to speak on what was it that you were challenged with, and then it just kind of propelled you to where you are?
Okay, so that came along in my early 20s, probably when I was 23, the summer of 2018.
Huh.
Yeah, so it was one morning when I woke up and it just like a light blew in my vision, my right eye. And over a span of a year, it progressed into both eyes. And at the point of finally finding an answer and healing, it was at a point where I could not see. All I was seeing was yellow, green,
and gray.
On. And the doctor said had I stayed away any longer, it would have become permanent. And thank God for the holistic doctor like that. I just felt like they had a saying, like when I when I went full time into my business, into the business, I used to listen to a lot of motivational videos. And yeah, there was one that really stuck with me, and it said, he said, you know, when the army, when they went to conquer various islands and countries, the captain would literally tell his men, burn the boats. You know, so we either coming back either in body bag. Either we don't come back or we come back using our enemy's ships. So that was kind of my mindset at that point.
Wow.
You know, I have no kind of plan B. If I had a plan B, it was to make plan A work.
Hey, you're giving me chill bumps, man. You sound like me because I started my business young and I didn't have a plan B. I really did not. I believed so much in him in me that I thought anything I put my hand to is going to work.
The first time I heard of him was in news.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. I mean, he hit Saint Lucia by storm. Just before COVID, he just came out a young guy with a business in 3D printing. We don't have that sort of thing on that scale.
Wow.
And for him to, I think he won an award as well in 2019 or 2018.
Oh,
now, I think he failed to mention that in the show.
Yeah.
But that's how I got to know his name.
Huh.
Yes. So it was news articles, and they had an article written about him, I think, with some online company.
Wow.
So that was, I was just scrolling through Facebook and I saw that there again. So I said, oh, no, that's the face, you know?
How about that?
And stuff. Yeah. He was and still is doing some big, great things.
Yes, he is.
And the scope of what he can do.
Come on, man.
We don't have to import. We have it right here.
Wow. So when I'm jumping up and down and telling people, Saint Lucia, you're so blessed. You got everything you need. You got everything. You really do have everything you need. This country is just filled with people that are dreamers, man. And they're doing it. And I love that. You're a dreamer. I'm a dreamer.
I'm still dreaming.
I know, right? Me too. Oh my gosh. Who can forget our girl Suzette Kistner with fine line cleaning services. Oh boy, I fumbled that one. I told the story on the show of how I was able to meet her and just kind of spoke life into that dream that was lying dormant, and she's doing it. And I'm so proud of her. She did not let anything, the oppression, depression, stop her. And for me, that just rings synonymous with people that are serious about what they're doing, no matter what.
Yep. And for me, the takeaway from her show was her heart. You hear people say things like that, but you don't see them do it.
Come on.
Or to you, it's just like as if they're talking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But there's something when someone is talking that there's a feeling you get. And you know, yes.
You know it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I took from that show was just how kind-hearted she is.
Yeah.
You know? Her looking out for everyone else and how she handles her business. We need a lot more employers like her.
How about that?
You know?
Yeah.
Actually looking out for the best interest of the employees.
Absolutely.
Because your best asset or your only asset to your business is your human resource.
Why go through all of that you've not experienced before? Why bring that kind of pressure on yourself? What's the why?
My why is I recognize there were persons who worked with me and they were less of what I could afford for me and they couldn't afford for themselves.
Jeez.
So
break that down. I know. You guys may get it. I'm from Mississippi. A little slow right now.
Okay. Let me break it down.
Please do.
So, of course, I could have afforded certain things. Like, during COVID, persons are not expecting COVID. So, they're not financially stable where they could pay their house rent and do, a lot of things.
For sure.
It hurt me to see persons that I worked with and they were sent home also and they couldn't afford to, get food. I would get calls, It was heartbreaking. For me, there was no need for all of this. You could tell them, I'll cut down on your salary, but you can still stay on. 10 years ago, you had this in mind. why don't you pursue it?
Come on.
Why don't you put it together?
In all of the brokenness, those broken pieces,
yes.
you were literally saying this to yourself in the midst of a storm.
Because it was hurting to see that persons couldn't get a proper meal. And I'm saying they were not able to pay the bills. So I'm saying to myself, why don't you, Suzette, do something to help? You may not be able to help everybody, but you can help 2 persons, you can help 3 persons. So there I started.
Wow.
When I started with you, I started alone. I called up another lady. I said to her, well, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to get you where you need to be.
Oh, come on. So this is the landscape of your business.
That's right. So I got her to where she is right now. Wow. Got another one to another area.
Yeah.
And then we just started evolving slowly.
Yeah.
And I'm just so thankful and grateful. But then I look at myself and I said, but you had all this talent in you. Why did you stay in a job that just stressed you out?
Don't you dare say that.
Why?
I'm about to jump out of these shoes
Why?
right now. What? Did you hear what she just said? Why are you staying with
all the stress?
Nice.
Right now I am just stress-free.
You mean to tell me in all of the hardship, you still had a heart for God's people? You still had a heart to help someone?
I did.
That's called, and you know this, that's called the spirit of leadership.
You can buy everything that you can to run the business.
Yeah.
Who's going to operate it for you?
Right.
It can be a robot.
Right.
You have to set it, but you still need someone to set it.
Absolutely.
Unless you have the skills and the know-how.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you still need the human resource.
Absolutely.
To carry it out.
Wow.
And I think that's what she is trying to instill.
Right.
That comfortability with she and her staff, and knowing that, she has their back.
Absolutely.
And that reminds me of someone else as well, Linda.
Oh, come on.
Linda.
I really want to be on this show.
From meeting to meeting with Linda and just hearing how she speaks about her staff.
Oh, come on.
And hearing the little stories of what she does and how she tries to engage them and the feedback and stuff. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And Suzette was
hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me ask you before we go to break, or maybe this is a question after break. What's your why in this in this arena, this show? I get it. You're here, right?
Yeah.
What's that internalization that gives you your why? Is that a question for before the break or
after the break?
So stay tuned. We're going to get into Kendrick Williams. See, Capture Inspires. Why? Why is he a part of the tapestry of this show? All right, stay tuned. We're just getting started. From the Talk to Tongie show. Are you ready to maximize your business exposure? Of course you are. Why not consider placing an ad right here with me on the Talk to Tongie show on DBS?
Hello. My name is Tori, and I have the privilege and the honor of speaking to you guys and sharing a little bit about Dr. Tongie and what it's like to know her. And I just want to say Dr. Tongie is the truth. Like, she is one of those people that really and genuinely wants you to win. She wants you to live out your life on purpose. She wants to see you live out Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. So no matter what life looks like for you, as long as you are seeking our daddy and his counsel and living out the Constitution, right? You will see everything that you have need of added unto you. And she doesn't just say this, she lives it out. I've seen her live life with sheer abandonment, as she says, smiling from her soul after loss, after just life has handed her things that was like so undeserved, right? But she lived it out. She is that example of, I'm not going to tell you something that I myself will not do. Whatever she tells you, she's either done, she's lived it out, and she's on the other side of it, right? So, tune in, listen, lean in, because everything she says comes from our daddy. She's not going to give you fluff. She's not going to give you a feel-good motivational speech. She's going to give you whatever the daddy would say to her that you need to hear. She's going to give you nuggets of truth that work, and you will never be the same again. She encourages, motivates, instructs in business, right? She will help you start and launch a business. She is one of those people that is a wealth of knowledge and information. You handle her with care because she's a gift to anyone's life. She motivates us and shows you the strength that you have to overcome any situation. And she lives it out. And to see her relocate out of the States to go over to the beautiful island of Saint Lucia and just love on the citizens and the people of Saint Lucia like that was her own country is amazing. She has a heart for the citizens, for the people, and she genuinely cares. She's not just telling you to do something for today. She wants to see you live out everything God has promised, every dream that God has placed in you like never before. And to know her is to love her. Okay? So if you have not tuned in, you need to tune in to Dr. Tongie. There's a lot of special words of wisdom and pearls that comes out of that beautiful spirit of hers. And I am just so grateful that sometimes I get a front row seat to see it in living color. So you won't be disappointed. Tune in, book her, allow her to pour into your life. You will never be the same again. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.
This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. We are back. Thank you yet again for hanging out with your friend, Tongie, Dr. Tongie. And, of course, my very special guest is normally behind the camera. He's usually telling me, all right, break time. But now he gets to direct in front of the camera. Of course, is none other than Kendrick Williams of See, Capture, Inspire. And right before the break, we were talking his why. I know that you are just, you do everything and you do it so very well. What's your why for this show?
Let's go back, way back, when we met.
Okay.
First thing I said to you, I want to help change the world. And the only way I know how is to be behind those cameras. I love documentaries.
Yeah.
I love shows. I love concerts. You know, that's just a passion of mine. You know, having those cameras, multiple cameras, changing between camera views and so on and so forth. You know, it just gives me that kind of, it feels like home.
For sure.
Yeah. So that's my why.
That's your why.
We have stories that need to be heard.
Come on. Absolutely.
People need to hear these stories.
Absolutely.
I mean, with all what we see in news, it's very depressing.
I was going to say that, and I understand journalism. I get the news and why it's so important, in society. But when you're turning on your television from news outlet to news outlet, the killings and it's like, come on, I need to breathe.
And I mean, these things are necessary to let people know what's going on.
For sure.
But we have a lot of human interest stories that are not being told.
Come on, man. Come on.
So this is the perfect opportunity to actually get these stories out.
Yeah.
And so far, what a journey.
I was about to say, because you guys are really showing up and we appreciate, we are grateful literally every single Thursday that we're able to come into homes and hopefully encourage and motivate folk. But you're absolutely right. It's something that is really dynamic about having a show that highlights and celebrates people.
Yeah.
Just everyday people who roll up their sleeves and go out there, and whether they're selling coconut water or patties or whatever, roti or whatever it is, they're doing it.
They're doing this, and for most of them, it's just the start of their journey.
Wow.
You have to start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere.
And as you mentioned that, my passion started when I was at the Visitor Channel doing that very same thing.
Okay.
We had a show called Faces. It was already running before I joined the company.
Okay.
And that show brought me from hotel to hotel to hotel, in the kitchen, management, all around, in accounts offices, the guys that doing the water sports and stuff.
Yeah.
Every single one of them have some. If you heard of stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
It's just interesting where they came from, what they did to bring them to where they are, what they are looking to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. So that's where it started in 2010.
Guys, come on.
Mm-hmm.
So you answered the question, what's your why for this platform? I gotta ask you, what's your why behind Seed Capture Inspired? Because of all the businesses, we didn't list yours, and we need to, because you do all three of those verbs. You see, you capture, and you inspire. What's that like for you, having your own business? I know we talked about it on the show.
As we in Saint Lucia say, I feel like a boss. Yeah. Can do my own thing now,
Oh.
It feels great. It feels great. I actually feel like, I'm doing something and I'm where I belong.
Wow.
Yeah. I treat myself well.
You do.
Yeah. I love what I do.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like work.
Yeah. Isn't that something, how that's one of the principles that I literally live by, that when you become who you're supposed to become, that work you used to do really is not work at all. It's who you are, who
Exactly.
you be.
Yep.
Be is a verb. Wow.
Because usually back then and still now, wherever you see me, I have a camera.
Man.
If not, I'm looking at something thinking, hey, that can work this way, that can do that.
Yeah.
If not, I'm on my phone. I'll capture that there and see hey. And then sometimes in my downtime, what I usually do is just look at documentaries and just see the style and how they do stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you have more concrete up there and we're full of fauna and flora. Hey.
I love it.
You have it, Yeah.
Wow. So where do you see your Seed Capture Inspired business going? And again, I ask you that, I'll ask again, where do you see it going?
Full production house.
Huh.
Yep.
Full production
house.
That means that encompasses everything from directing to producing.
Yes. Film, everything. Yeah. Where I want to really see myself is filming movies.
Come on, man. Come on.
being right there in the action.
Yeah. I can see you doing that. I really can.
Yep. When I was little, I was like, I want to be an actor. Those guys get paid a lot of money,
Yeah.
And they're just living life.
Yeah.
You film one movie, you on break.
Yeah,
I'm like, everyone else is working and I'm on the beach somewhere, drinking something.
Yeah.
And then, as life goes on, it's like, nah, behind the camera making more money than those actors,
Yeah.
I can just be editing. I good.
Uh-huh.
So that's where I want to go. But the thing is, I don't want to leave here to do that. I want to do it right here.
Man, you better come on and talk about it, because you get the value of this country. You don't have to leave. Hollywood really can come to you.
And they have already started.
You sure have.
They come down.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it was Shaheed that mentioned for Below Deck.
Yes.
It was filmed and on his properties.
Yeah.
Wow.
At his restaurant.
Yeah. So shout out to your vision and to Chateau Michael. I thought I was going to mess that up.
Yeah. I was like, ooh.
I know.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow. Who can ever forget our guy, Ninja Dan?
I don't think anyone can. You can try, but you can't.
He was so enormously free, if that makes any sense, that we had to do a part 2. Because when we spoke about him, I didn't know much about, soca. I didn't understand that he's like the OG of soca music.
Yep.
But for him to have gone through what he went through and still, while in the fiery furnace, still thinking about these babies on the outside, what are they going to think about me? I want to be a role model. You talk about being tested for something that he truly loves doing and being. How grateful we should all be that he went through that. Seriously, we all can glean from what he did.
And the thing is, most times we learn from someone else's experience.
Come on, man. Come on.
And not many would actually be open to tell you anything.
Nope.
And for those who do, we're eternally grateful for that.
Absolutely.
Because we know what not to do.
Yeah.
And how to get through if we end up making a mistake or if we have been through something. It might not be as big as what they did or depending on the situation, but sometimes we go through our own little trials and stuff, and we do stuff that we regret doing because of anger and stuff. Because, human nature, our first line of defense or anything is attack.
Yeah, for sure.
So instead of holding back and walking away, we want to have our last say.
Yeah.
We want to be that person where we walk out with our chest big and say, I finished that, I told you that, and that's it, and I'm out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So with his approach now, especially with the young boys,
conflict resolution.
We need that bad.
Oh my gosh.
I was born and raised in Masha, Bagatelle to be exact. Very, very, very troublesome. Very troubled. I was considered a youth at risk. I went to Marshall School. I passed for Castis Comprehensive. I went to this school, and I was very troubled as well. And one of the things you don't know, or I don't know if you know, I was also incarcerated for murder in 2008. I was actually incarcerated for something that I did not do. What happened to me was I was incarcerated. I used that to build me. And while I was incarcerated, I cried like a baby because for me, I was thinking that y'all on the outside thinking that I'm a killer for true, and then y'all could kill and y'all could stop killing. So that was my biggest and greatest fear of being incarcerated, because what I'm doing now, I started this since 2007. What kept me strong is the fact that I needed to survive this incarceration so that I could be here to tell you what I don't want y'all to go through. Because there are a lot of y'all that's going to go through for what I'm going through.
How was it when you went to go and ask him to be a part of the show? How was that for you? Did you feel any intimidation, calling him up?
That's not the first time I've met him. Okay. I've had him on a show before at the place I recently worked at.
Okay.
Yeah. So I knew him to be a nice, cool. He's very approachable.
He is.
Very approachable.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're doing it, and you're doing it so well, and I really am truly, truly grateful for you. I really, really am. I need you to know that. And last evening, or whatever this broadcast is going to be shown, right? We had the opportunity to hang out with Dr. Stephen King. Oh my
Not a great soul.
Goodness. To be in this man's presence, I felt like, and I told him, I said, I feel like I'm in a master class.
Yeah.
And you're here to teach, what it is that I need to learn, because the teacher, when the student's ready, that's when the teacher will appear. And I love the fact that we didn't squander his being in our presence, nor our being in his. What was that like? I mean, co-founder of Rise Up, and there you are saying, hey, I need you to be on this show. What was the approach? How'd you get him to come?
Oh, just simple question. You know, I have dealt with him long before. I do work with the SLHTA that he works in collaboration with. Like I said, my network is wide. People know me, I know people, and if I don't know someone, I know someone that might know someone that might know that person.
Yeah.
So yeah. So just a few phone calls away.
You don't burn bridges then, huh?
I try my best not to. But the thing is, one, no matter where you are, or where you work, or whatnot, I mean, despite you have to look out for others, you also have to look out for your best interest.
Absolutely.
You cannot be going through life regretting stuff that you've not done or stuff that you want to do that you cannot do. Mm-hmm. You cannot constrain yourself to a little corner and then just complain. It brings you nowhere. I did it for years. It wasn't bringing me anywhere. It just felt like a cycle. Going through it over and you're working from paycheck to paycheck. It's hand to mouth.
Come on.
Hand to mouth. But it's just that every time you see your pay slip, it's like you want to do something for yourself, but it's so tough because you have other things to take care of. So you check for everything else but yourself. You know, and then that frustration now leads to I have to go and drag myself back to work. And then sometimes the environment is not pleasing whatsoever. Yeah. You know? And the little things that you look forward to, you don't get. So you go through that cycle day after day after day after day. And, you know, all that stirs up anger and stuff. And we do sometimes let it out in the wrong way or to the wrong person.
Right. Absolutely.
Because we don't know how to deal with these things.
Wow.
In most cases, we can't even talk to anyone these days. Before you tell someone something, it's like that person, they will know that person. And
Gotcha.
So it feels like your sermon is being told to everybody else, but it's your sermon. It's personal.
Wow.
You know, so.
Yeah. What do you think is one of the things that kind of breed that kind of behavior? What makes people, and I know you don't know the answer, but along the lines of what makes a person be dishonest? And it's dishonesty when I tell you something and then you run and tell someone else, I can't trust you. What do you think?
Sometimes just a culture we create for ourselves, you know, sometimes what we do to others, you know, it's also being done to us. If not the way we live our life.
Wow.
Sometimes that's what happens just, you know, around us. And like you said in one of your shows, love, that's lacking.
That's heavy.
That's the king, actually. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Love is the common denominator in everything.
Common denominator.
Without that, everything else falls apart because we can be working together.
Right.
And I ain't like you at all.
Right.
You will feel.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely.
You'll feel it. Absolutely. And it's not going to work. You know, it's never going to work. There's going to be, we may not speak about it, but there's going to be a back and forth because my head will be going,
Yep.
You know, and that kind of thing like that, you know?
Absolutely.
And then it will reflect in the work that you do as well. Yeah.
So love. The lack of love will cause you to tell your sermon to everybody else.
Yeah. And even not that, the judgment and all that, I think we should be embracing each other more.
Yeah.
Than actually trying to fight each other. We can all climb the same ladder.
Come on, man. Come on.
We can build a ladder for another ladder and create another ladder.
So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So I don't see the need to be fighting to reach the top, where we can all help one another reach the same way.
That's it.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a philosophy to really adopt and live by. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the principle, I am my brother's keeper.
Right.
Really does mean something.
Yeah. And that's, I actually live that with my close circle of friends.
Gotcha.
They have been successful long before me.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
Yeah.
And I look up to that. I may not be there yet.
Yeah.
But that's where I want to be as well. And they don't hold that on top of you. They help you.
Wow.
They'll check on you, you know, how things going. And if you do need help, bro, I'm there.
Oh, come on.
You know, all these things are encouraging.
Yeah.
And that's what we need more of.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're living, I say it a lot, but you're living life from the inside out, which causes you not to be reactive, but proactive.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a challenge, but you're doing it.
Trying to.
Yeah.
Big one.
Come on, you're doing it.
Well, we still fall, and sometimes we fall more often than others, but at least my main goal is trying to be that person as well.
Yeah. And that really is important.
Very.
And would you agree that everyone that has been a part of our journey on this show kind of have that same mentality?
They embody it.
Yeah. I like that. I really do.
They do.
Because the stories, again, are just, they resonate so much with someone who really wants better for their lives and for their children's lives. And when you can see another Saint Lucian doing what you want to do, or what you believe that, God, I can do this, it does motivate you.
Yeah, it does.
Really does.
Because going through all what we filmed, especially with the live as well, the satisfaction of after the show is like, yes.
Yep.
Your story is there. Someone will hear it. It will encourage somebody to do it too. And
we know it's working, because you guys, seriously, your DMs, you're going to WhatsApp, your engagement, your own Facebook.
Yeah.
And it just, it lets us know that we're right where we're supposed to be.
And what's more satisfying is when those guys come back and say, thank you.
Come on.
Thank you.
Come on.
Especially for those who get business from what
I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
I wonder how we could really track what they're doing once they've come on the show.
Well, I usually get feedback.
Really?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
That's good.
It makes me feel good, like I'm doing something right. I am now on that path to where I always wanted to be.
Absolutely.
What
keeps you humble? What keeps you not poking at your chest and saying, hey, look at me? What is that?
I would say, one, my upbringing, and two, my daughter. Mainly what I do so she has something better.
Come on.
And I want to be someone she can look up to and say, yeah, that's my daddy, and my daddy's doing it, so I can do it too.
Yep.
Despite circumstances, etc. We try our best not to show our kids how hard it is.
Oh, come
and my
on.
mom and my dad did that very same thing. They hid that from us. Because we always had food on our table. Despite it was bread and cheese.
Come on.
Or
All right.
tuna fish and sandwich, or something. Yeah. We always had something. But they never made it an issue to do anything for us. And I want to actually do that same thing.
And you're doing it. You really are. I know I've said this time and time again, but you remind me so much of my own son, because he's such an amazing father to his 3 boys. And I will sometimes text him and say, man, I wish I had a dad like you do, because he's so caring and so compassionate. And that's really, that's the cusp of an amazing father, a great daddy, and that is what you are.
Yes.
Wow, man. Didn't I tell you that you're in for an amazing time this evening? This is our recap. This is our slowing down to pay homage to those who've literally said yes to coming on the show, and they're opening up and telling us some of those things that they probably would not say otherwise. I feel very honored and blessed when we do get them speaking from the heart, because that's what they show. That's the predication of the show, to have people come on, and they don't necessarily have to tell us all of their laundry, but to give us a bird's eye view of what it takes to get up every morning, continuously faced with whatever it is that you're faced with, but you still get up and you make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's amazing.
And sometimes, even for us that doing it, hearing it from somebody else's mouth just gives us that extra little nudge.
Yep.
Continue, just keep pushing.
Just keep pushing. And I tell myself that every single day. I kid you not. Don't let the smile fool you. I still have things that come up and I'm like, oh dear God, how are we going to do this? But then I literally have to talk to the God inside of me, the I am that I am, the one that says I can be in all places at the same time, and I know everything that you're going through. So I don't necessarily have to beg him. Once upon a time I would beg, oh God, please, 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 please pay this and please pay that. But now it's, Dad, I know you're here. And whatever your will is, if I've stepped outside of it, forgive me and put me back in there. Mercy. Yeah. And he does that. Yeah. So that's the reassurance that no matter what happens, you can make it.
You can.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as we saw in those shows.
Yeah.
Coyote. I mean, if anybody else has an excuse, I think they should cut that excuse out now.
Can you imagine?
Almost losing your eyesight and still doing it for yourself. And his parents were not like, okay, well, you in that state, you know?
Yeah.
Just stay there. The tough love, sometimes what we need.
Yeah.
You know?
Doesn't feel good, right? When they're dishing it out, but in the long run, you can look back over and say, yeah, I needed that. Wow.
So, I mean, if Coyote can do it,
come on.
Who are we not to?
Come on.
And he's just not the only one.
Yeah.
I was in contact with someone with a son. She has a son with a disability. He has his own little show like this as well.
Yeah.
He can barely speak. And I think he's paralyzed on one side.
Okay.
Something of that sort. But he has a t-shirt printing company, small. Yeah, and he does a little show like this as well.
Oh, come on.
You know?
Really?
Yeah.
And he's right here on the island.
He's right here on the island.
Wow.
Yeah. And his mom is pushing him. So despite what you're going through, you can still.
Absolutely.
You can still.
Yeah.
For some of us, it may take a longer time.
Right.
But the thing is, what I used to do is look up at other people and say, I want that and want it fast. But that's just being greedy, in my opinion.
You used to, I can't imagine you doing that.
I'm like, watch your vehicle, mate driving, mate and I start working the same time, or mate younger than me and watch what mate, you know, that type of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it took me a while to get out of that.
That's interesting.
Things happen in time.
Gotcha.
It may not be your time, it's their time.
Come on.
It might just be your time to go through that little rough patch.
Come on.
Because when you come out of that, that's what you learn from. They probably went through this way earlier.
Yep.
But
absolutely.
Here am I, or here are we judging, saying, you know, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Or even those that we say have the silver spoon.
Come on.
They still do face things. And I learned that from Dr. King's show as well.
Sheesh. Wasn't that amazing to hear? Yeah, it was.
So we all face the same trials, struggles.
Yep.
Just differently, but we all go through something that we come out strong from.
Absolutely. So, I think whenever you're going through a trial or a circumstance that it looks like it's not going to work in your favor, just repeating over and over, this too shall pass, and it came to pass. And no matter how many times you have to say it, you understand what I'm saying? You still have to believe that this is temporary. You know what I mean? A loving God, especially if you're a believer, He won't leave your soul in hell. That's just not His MO. What better person to have as a friend than your source?
Exactly.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning, Kendrick, that when you have favor on your life, it's more than money. If that makes any sense.
Much more than gold.
You better believe it. Because favor can take you through doors that your money couldn't. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Favor just don't make sense. It really doesn't. Oh my God. If you try to make it make sense, it just does not. Why would someone choose me out of all of these folk? You know what I mean? They choose me. And you're like, but they got more qualifications and they got it going on and blah, 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 blah. But when God has your favor, when He has His favor on your life, it does not matter.
Nope, it doesn't.
You can be just doing your own thing. Like we were, right?
Yeah.
And then someone taps you on your shoulder and says, hey, what you doing? You know? Because that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are problem solvers as business owners. We really do. Once you make your mission about people and not just about the money, because money is a factor. We need it. I'm not crazy to say, oh, we don't need it. Man, yes, we do.
We do.
Lose a leg will turn you off if you don't pay.
Yeah.
So it's just, we literally have to continuously walking in God's favor.
Yeah.
We do. Even if we fall, we get right back up.
Get right back up. And even on the drive up this morning, I was listening to a motivational talk.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you fail more than you succeed.
Ooh, talk to me.
You have to embrace the fall.
Yeah.
Don't be fearful of it.
Yeah.
Because in order for you to be successful, you have to go down through that.
But you have to, don't you?
Live in it. Embrace it. Want it.
That is.
And after that, it's heaven on earth.
Yeah.
You never see just before a hurricane or something how it is. Then the hurricane comes.
Yeah.
Destruction. But afterwards, how calm
How come?
and peaceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So sometimes we just have to see the ugly to see the nice.
Man, come on.
You know? Yeah. It's just like before you have a nice hairstyle.
Yeah.
You know, you see,
Yeah.
And then now when it's combed, you know, you're like, yeah.
I love this guy. But you're making sense. And I know that who's ever watching this evening, it resonates. It resonates to what he's talking. You know what I mean? So don't give up. Do not throw in the towel. You literally can be 3 feet from where you're supposed to be, and then you give up. You know? Wow.
And that's a tough pill to swallow.
Who you telling?
Actually, sometimes it reveals itself saying, in some instances where, for some it might be dreams, for some it might be someone saying something, but you know, I was meant to call you and stuff, but you know, you dropped up, it's like, you see that? It's like, wow, that happened? You're literally there, you know.
Yeah.
Or you have to just wait a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I liken it to birthing pains. Right before that baby comes, boy, right before the water breaks. And you're thinking, oh, dear God, I don't think I can handle this. And the nurses are trying to tell you, you got this. The doctor hasn't even been called yet because they don't call them to about 10 minutes before. So if you're in labor for 28 hours, you're thinking, oh, dear God, I cannot do this. And you go through all of that. And then God allows you to see a miracle that comes forth. And you're thinking, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
What if I had...
Now look at that. In every different situation, it's the same thing. The pain, the struggle, the downfall.
Man, come on.
And then the beauty after. The calmness. You know?
Don't make me throw these shoes off and start running. Then think about a little bit. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone, Kendrick? What would you say to someone who says, I'm listening to what you're saying. I'm watching what you're doing. But how do I get there?
You're already there. You're already there. But the first thing you need to do is believe in yourself. That's key.
Dang.
Once you believe in yourself, that's the first step.
Yeah. So if you were telling a 7-year-old, how do I believe? What is that? You're telling me to believe, but how do I do that? Gotcha.
Yeah, you got me there.
Come on, I can see the wheels rolling. Like,
it's rolling.
Maybe we should come to a break. Then Kendrick is going to explain in layman's terms. When you hear people say, but you got to believe in yourself, you got to believe in yourself. He's going to shed a little light before the end of the verse. What does it look like to believe in yourself? Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dr. Tongie is on a mission to help you rediscover God's purpose for your life. And she does this by teaching you how to change your perspectives according to His original plan for you. If you are experiencing bouts of failure or an inability to do things right, she is here to assist you in ending those thoughts that can indeed lead to a depressing mindset. She calls you to emulate the processes a full-scale mind shift requires by replacing religious ideologies and traditions that oftentimes create a sense of struggle. Dr. Tongie provides you with much needed insight, encouragement, and motivation to not only assist you in rediscovering your dreams, but she systematically shows you how to no longer chase them, but how to manifest them. Dr. Tongie is the Caribbean's very own inspirational and motivational speaker, our life and spiritual coach, and someone who delivers hope, encourages our faith, and showcases that we must live a life that is.
This is Dr. Tongie. I'm from a little town called Columbus, Mississippi, and I've come all the way here to show you exactly how you can live abundantly. Fear is nothing. You hear me? You can do anything you put your mind to. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. We're going to do life together. And we are back. Thank you for hanging out with your girl, Tongie, and tuning in to Talk to Tongie. I never grow tired of saying I am truly, truly grateful for your showing up. This show really is about you. It's about what you're doing in the marketplace. It's about encouraging and inspiring and motivating you. And you get to listen to the people that have said, you know what, I've got to put my faith where my belief is, and I've got to move in the direction of where I need to be. Right before the break, I asked my dear, dear friend, Kendrick Williams of Seed Capture Inspire, break down so that a 7-year-old would get it. How do you believe? How do you believe?
Well, with me and my daughter, right?
Yeah.
She has a whole bunch of stuff in thinking of.
Okay.
She wants to be this, she wants to be that, the key thing is confidence in yourself.
Huh.
Yes.
Belief starts with confidence.
Loving yourself.
I like that.
You help build your confidence.
Yeah.
And then belief just comes easy. Because one time you know yourself, you know what you can do.
Yep. And then you do.
You do it. Sometimes you do it without knowing you're doing it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
And she taught me that as well. For something, she has no fear.
Yeah.
She just believed that she can do it.
My girl.
And she did it. She made me climb the Petals for her birthday last year.
Oh, come on.
I'm afraid of heights. I wouldn't do that. Although, for past work, I've done some shots in a helicopter.
Yeah.
But not unless I have that camera in my eye. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
From up there, down there, looking too concrete.
Yeah.
No.
But you did it.
Yeah. And who would have known? She was still in 7 then. Who would have known a 7-year-old can climb that? Mm-hmm. She did it. She believed that she could. She wanted to, and she did it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hazel.
I think that's the only way I can simplify it.
Yeah. I get it. I really do. Yeah. So for those who are wondering, how to believe, Kendrick said it best. Start with confidence. Start with confidence in yourself.
Love yourself. It helps build your confidence. From
Absolutely.
That, belief comes easy.
It comes really easy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you. Wow. So, procuring additional guests, doing what you do for this show, thank you literally for showing me that I can still use my imagination, and God will send folk your way to get it, to bring it to pass. And that's what you've done for me.
Thank you.
Really have. Oh, come on, man.
But thank you for believing in me, making my dreams come true.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't get that often. I'm not going to cry. No crying. You may have seen me sweat, but I'm not crying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, doing it on my own feels great. I'm doing exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's even better.
Man, that's so God.
And there's
Seriously.
a lot more that we can do.
Oh, come on.
We won't disclose yet.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to come.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Thank you, sir.
We've just started.
One
show at a time, we're changing minds.
Isn't that something, though?
Yeah.
One show at a time, we're changing minds.
Yep.
Yeah, that could go on a t-shirt.
I was just about to say that. Yeah. Changing your mindset one show at a time.
That's it. And it all begins in the mind. Everything that you are going to deploy yourself into begins in the mind.
Yep.
The I know I can, or the help me God with how to do.
Or just the idea of what you would want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being a guest on the show. Thank you for people, like I said, Dr. Natasha, Coyote, Riyadh, Ninja Dan, Dr. King, Stephen King.
Yeah.
And of course, Suzette Kistner. Thank you for sharing your stories and encouraging other people. Before we go, I just want to slow it down a little bit and say that you have everything you need to be as wildly successful as you want to be. If you're looking on the outside, thinking that what's out here is what you're in need of, I would beg to differ. Because once you make up your mind that you matter, that you bring value to this world, that he created you for purpose and you're longing to get into that purpose, then the rest comes really easy. It really, really does. So no matter where you may find yourself this Thursday evening, if you're on top of the mountain, then enjoy the view. If you're in the valley, enjoy the view. But in all things, do not quit. Do not give up. Speak life to yourself like never before. And I tell my own children and grandchildren, tie a knot in this thing called faith and hold on, moving in the direction that your faith takes you. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. We've had some amazing folk. Like Kendrick said, we're just getting started. And I am truly, truly grateful for having you on this journey with me. I'm your girl, Dr. Tongie. Tongie, as my friends call me in the streets. And this has been an amazing Talk to Tongie recap. Be good to yourself. Love yourself. And just remember, you're probably 3 feet from gold. All right? Mwah! Till next time, the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. We're going to do it again next Thursday right here at DBS, 8 o'clock. Bye.
You're watching DBS.